the Megabass Sleeper Gill and the Megabass Dark Sleeper right here. So we're going to get into that here in the video. And what I want to do is I want to go over each one of these lures, and I want to talk about the applications for them and where they work, little tips and advice on how to fish them. And they're freaking so fun to fish, man. They look so good in the water, so let's get into it. Also, guys, I'll link every one of these baits in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video. If you guys would like to pick one up through that Tackle Warehouse link, it's a good way to support the channel. Okay, the first one let's talk about is the Dark Sleeper. Now, this is probably the most well-known one. This has been out for several years with Megabass. It's been copied by other companies. You guys have seen other companies that have tried to knock this off, but this is the original. This is the OG Megabass Dark Sleeper. And let me tell you a little story about this particular bait, and I'm going to talk a little bit about, how it's set up and how you want to fish it. The first time that I used the thing, I had just got some from Megabass. They were prototypes, and it was June down at Table Rock Lake. This has probably been 5 years ago or so, right when they first came out. And anyway, I was down there, and I had some baits I wanted to test out for Megabass. I'd never thrown the Dark Sleeper before, and I was catching some fish on a football head jig out off of some main lake gravelly points. So I said, man, I'm going to try this Dark Sleeper and just, sort of see how it works. So I was throwing it out there, just fishing it, sort of like dragging it along the bottom, sort of like I would a football head jig, and maybe just hopping it off the bottom a little bit. And I knew I knew that's the way you wanted to work this one, guys, because this bait is not designed to be worked through the water column like a swim bait. It's got a flat keel lead weight on the bottom, and it sets up like that on the bottom. So it's designed to be fished on the bottom. It's not designed to be fished through the water column. So I was just hopping it through the bottom like that and dragging it, wasn't catching much. And then all of a sudden I got thinking about some of the days I've had up at Lake St. Clair, snapping a tube really hard off the bottom like that, and in that clear water for smallmouth. And actually what the deal was is I was getting ready to go to Lake St. Clair for an FLW tournament, so I wanted to see if this bait would work up there. And guys, I started snapping this Dark Sleeper, like bam, hard off the bottom like that, where just go bam, about 2 or 3 feet off the bottom. Guys, I absolutely destroyed them on that with this. Probably caught, I don't know, 60 fish that day, and probably half of them were smallmouth. And what the deal was is 90% of the time I'd throw it out there, I'd snap it off the bottom like I was cracking a tube or something like that. And as soon as you snapped it like that, like at the top of the snap, the fish would be on it. Maybe 10% of the time